Kick it off right now with this top story this hour, a win for the Trump administration as it begins to enforce its temporary ban on refugees and visitors from 6 Muslim-majority countries with little disruption yesterday. The ban, which took effect last night at 8 p.m., only exempts travelers with close family or business ties in the United States. Under the new rules, immediate family and spouses of American citizens do not fall under the ban, but relatives like aunts, uncles, grandparents do. People engaged to be married are also exempt. People rejected for visas can request waivers and will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Now, for refugees, the president set a cap on admissions for the fiscal year at 50,000. According to officials, more than 49,000 have already been admitted for the year. Joining us right now is former Arizona Congressman and Newsmax TV host, J.D. Hayworth. J.D., good to see you. Thanks so much.
Maria, great to spend the morning with you and your team.
Thanks.
Thanks for the honorary cleanup spot here.
Well, thank you so much. What do you make of this ban, the president's way of cracking down on terrorism?
Well, it's long overdue, and let's just understand something about international law. Every nation state has the right to decide who will be admitted to that state. And the open borders lobby and a lot of folks who are playing politics have been willing to run roughshod over our national security. So I will tell you, I believe it is long overdue. I believe the courts, what we have seen in American jurisprudence in the last 6 months, citing campaign speeches rather than law, is reprehensible. I think the Supreme Court will set that right the first Monday in October, and we will return to maintaining our sovereignty as well as our national security.
Well, the challenges haven't stopped. Now the state of Hawaii is making an emergency filing, Mary, yesterday asking for a federal judge to clarify what the Trump administration can and cannot do under the partial ban. They're arguing for a broader set of exemptions. What do you make of it?
Well, I don't know about the wisdom of this policy, how far it's going to go to keep America safe, so I might take a little bit of issue here.
You're at the Journal Editorial page, right? Shocking. I mean, we always kind of disagree on the border.
Actually, this is a lot more about executive power than it is about President Trump. The president sets immigration policy, and the idea that somehow these lower courts found a reason to stop this ban from going through was always ridiculous. And I see this more as a win for the presidency more than I see it as a win for President Trump.
That makes a lot of sense. You have to agree with that.
I appreciate that. I remember, and again, not speaking ill of the departed, but Robert Bartley, I believe it was July 4th, 1999, said there should be a 5-word amendment to the Constitution. There shall be open borders. That was a mistake. In the post-9/11 age, if we don't maintain our sovereignty, instead of running the Fred Travalena game show, anything for money, if we don't start maintaining our national security and reasserting our sovereign rights, we are headed for real trouble. And there are a lot of folks here who want to see that happen politically.
A bit of a false choice. Nobody's saying that you're just going to let anybody into the country. However, I do think that it's important that when President Trump put this ban into place, that the courts respect his executive power. And he's doing a lot more to keep America safe. There's a big debate coming up about the NSA and surveillance. That's going to be also a very, very important issue to watch. That's the one, I think, that has more to do with our security than this ban.
I was a little surprised and maybe dismayed that the administration didn't have this tighter, knowing that the Supreme Court had ruled and opened the door for a large implementation of the travel ban, only kind of a narrow shutdown. But they had to reverse course last night. And include people who are engaged to be married. They hadn't even thought about that in advance. Now, grandparents are still excluded. Aunts and uncles are still prevented from coming into the country. But they had to reverse course to say, oh, your fiance can come in. I just thought it looked a little bit like poor planning on their part, because they've had all year. They've had all year to think about it.
Does that get implemented at the border? So people in airports are going to have to figure out what your family relation is? I think the implementation of this thing could have its challenges, you know, right?
Well, there have been lawyers deployed to many of the major international airports in this country, kind of ready. And there was a Fox 5 report, our local affiliate, said that there so far had not been any problems out at JFK.
So, but they can figure it out at the airport that it's coming into.
It's coming into the United States.
So instead of ambulance chasers from the trial lawyers lobby, you've got immigration attorneys who are airplane watchers trying to find aggrieved parties to go in and take exception to the law. Only in America.